Hello, fifth grade students. Thank you so much for joining me. We are continuing our read of Falcon Wild, and they are in a predicament. If you recall from our last read, they have a grizzly bear. Just following them, no more than that. They have a grizzly bear after them. And what are they going to do? What did they do? Let's find out. We're on page 105, chapter 18. Water is everywhere. I can't breathe, can't see where I am. The shore flies past so quickly. I feel like I'm in a vortex. Every time I try to yell for Cooper, my open mouth fills with water. I choke, gag. The water closes over my head as I go under, plunging me into that weird world of echoing underwater sounds. When I resurface, all I hear is the roar of the river and my own wet gasp. I'm carried along until I snag on something and I grab it instinctively. It's a log jutting out into the water from shore, a slippery log. My fingers are cold as I try to grasp it. I concentrate on digging my fingers into the wood with the kind of strength sheer terror brings. The water shoves me against the branch. I kick my legs, feeling the weight of my clinging jeans. Using the last of my waning energy, I pull myself into a small eddy near the bank. The insistent current subsides. I can feel the bottom with my feet. The water comes up to my chest. I keep going, dragging myself out of the water before flopping onto the bank. I cough and cough. My lungs are full. Then I throw up, mostly just water, but also chunks of something that burns coming up. I lie on my side, retching and trying to suck back air. Finally, I lie quiet. I've never been this exhausted. My limbs hardly feel attached as I stare at the sky and just breathe. I close my eyes and then begin to shiver. The shivering racks my body and knocks some awareness into me. This is bad. And where is my pack? I bolt upright. The waterproof matches were in my pack along with my water bottle. But the matches are the most important at the moment with my wet clothes. I'm going to be too cold to start a fire if I don't find my pack soon. I climb to my feet and look around because I'm going to survive. I climb to my feet and look around, trying to recall every survival lesson we've had, because I'm going to survive this. Around me are mixed hardwoods instead of the pines we were walking through earlier. The river roars past, churning sticks and debris along with it. There's nothing downstream to grab hold of. I'm lucky I found this branch. Cooper! Another shiver racks my body, and I wrap my arms around myself. I head downstream, searching the banks for Cooper. I keep screaming his name until my throat is raw. Where is he? Did he get swept away? Has he drowned? What if Cooper just kept going and was tossed around the river and bounced off rocks? This image turns around in my mind once. I've let it in. Flog off! I scream to the sky. As I move along the edge of the water, I see it. My pack. It's on the opposite shore, snagged on a branch. It bobs in the current. I'm still shivering and so cold my bones hurt, but I need that pack. No time to think. I wade into the waters again and swim for the opposite shore. Now that I have a goal, the water doesn't seem as chaotic. As long as I keep focused on the pack, I won't think about being in a cold river in October in the middle of nowhere. I let the current do most of the work, sweeping me past the pack and into the far eddy. I'm almost there. Suddenly, as if it's a giant hand, yanks me under the current of water pounding over a rock. I claw at the rock. Water is all I see. I can't believe it was only yesterday that I was dying of thirst. And then the river lets me go. I shoot into the eddy. My knees rasp on the sandy bottom. My arms and legs are shaking with adrenaline. I'm never going swimming again. I want to get as far away from the river as possible. Once I pull myself up, water streams off me and the wind hits me hard. I have to get dry. Get warm now. I walk upstream until I reach my pack. After fishing out of the water, I stagger up the bank. The mud is slippery and I slide back down the steep slope, but I dig my wet shoes in and climb up again. Karma! I hear his voice. Cooper. After I stumble up the bank, I see him in the water. I drop the pack and cover my mouth. I didn't realize how alone I felt until now. The relief almost drops me, but I raise my head. I'm coming! The river makes in on itself. The river snakes in on itself here. Cooper has wound up in a back eddy away from the current, but the bank there is too steep for him to climb out. As I slide down the embankment on wobbly legs, I see the white falcon in a tree above him. I blink. Stark really is here with him. It's as if she's watching out for him, like he's part of our little pack. Grab my hand, I yell, lying flat in the mud and reaching out. Our hands clasp, and then I'm hauling him out. We both roll in the cold mud, panting hard. My limbs are stiff and my fingers are starting to curl. Are you okay? He raises his white face to look at me. His lips are blue. Mine probably look the same. We need a fire, I say. We lurch into the trees, and I find a dead standing fir with drooping branches. Cooper struggles to pull out his knife from his soaking wet jeans. He opens the blade with shaking hands and then hacks at the branches. I peel bark from a log lying on the ground. As soon as we have a small pile ready, we huddle over it. With numbing fingers, I open the Ziploc bag containing the matches. Please be dry. Please be dry, I whisper. Despite their name, waterproof matches are almost impossible to light when they're wet. The matches are dry. Soon the fire is crackling and we're holding our hands above the flames. My mouth smirks a little at the heat. I made this heat, but my pride is short-lived when I notice my clothes sticking to me. They're sucking away my warmth of any warmth my body is making. The first thing to do after immersion in water, I know, is to take off your wet clothes. But I have nothing else. The book didn't suggest what to do if you didn't have a nice warm sleeping bag to crawl into. The sooner our clothes dry, the better, I say, wringing out the bottom of my hoodie. It hangs down to my thighs. Cooper still has his thin windbreaker double knotted tightly around his waist. His plain gray long sleeve shirt clings to his narrow torso. His hair hangs over his eyes. He stares grimly into the fire, lost in his thoughts. I don't know where we are. I've lost all sense of direction. The sun is obscured behind an overcast sky. The tension in my muscles isn't just from being cold. Cooper, I say, we really are lost this time. Chapter 19. We're not going to read the whole chapter, just a few paragraphs. Chapter 19, page 110. Cooper nods, staring blankly into the flames. Did you see how fast that bear ran? We could have actually been killed and eaten out here. He seems to have shut down as if the bear chasing us was the last thing he could handle. I've been to wild places before, he continues. I've seen Yellowstone through the car window, but not like. He lifts his head and stares at me. I thought he was going to get you. Yeah, so did I. Thanks for waiting, I say. I'll save myself before I save you, he tells me every time. But you didn't. As I relive it in my mind, I begin to smile. You pushed me away from the grizz first. You waited. Cooper shrugs and pokes the fire with a stick. He's silent so long, I wonder if he's angry at me again for something. What is he thinking? Finally, he quietly repeats himself. I thought that bear was going to get you. Let's stop there. Top of page 111. Great book. I love this book. Hope you do. See you again soon. Take care.